Hi, I'm Tyson Franklin, and welcome to this week's episode of It's No Secret with Dr. T. With me today is the owner of the Savannah Bananas, or the Savannah Bananas, depending how you say it and where you're from. It is Jesse Cole. Jesse, how are you doing today?
I'm pumped to be with you today, my friend.
And you are also the author of Find Your Yellow Tux, which is a very interesting book, and it is all about standing out. And we will touch on that. But first, I want to talk about the bananas. Now, how do you say it? Savannah or Savannah?
Savannah Bananas.
Savannah Bananas. It does actually sound better coming out that way.
It rhymes.
It does. It's like, what's the other term? Riches and niches.
Yes.
But see,
yes.
in Australia, we call it niches. So when you go riches and niches, it just doesn't have that same ring to it.
No, yeah, we like that. It rolls just off the mouth right here.
So one thing I want to say about the Savannah Bananas is you have been sold out every game for, I think I saw something, it was 88 games in a row. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's three straight seasons.
That is amazing. Now, in your league, the other clubs that are in your league, how are they doing in comparison?
We're very fortunate. We're the only team in the league selling out every single game. So most teams in college summer baseball, you'll have anywhere between 200 to 500 people in the stadium per game. We're selling out every game over 4,000 fans.
Okay, how did you get involved in all this to start with? What was the story behind owning a baseball team?
Yeah, I was a kid who fell in love with baseball. My father bought a baseball facility up in Massachusetts that I played at as a kid, and then I hoped to play professional, but in college, I tore everything in my shoulder. That ended my career. And so I got an opportunity as an intern with a low-level team, took that internship, and in 3 months got offered the job as a GM of a team in North Carolina. Yeah. And how do you get offered a GM? It's the worst team in the world. It was the worst performing team in the country. So I got offered that job, and 23 years old, and the team was failing. Only 200 fans come to the games, $268 in the bank account. We turned it around. We thought differently. And then about 10 years later, I said, let's take on the next challenge and buy a baseball team in Savannah, Georgia. And how do you buy a baseball team?
Yeah.
You take on an outrageous amount of debt. I took on more debt than I could ever imagine, me, my wife, and I. And we went down to Savannah to launch a brand new team. And that was back in 2015.
Okay. So I know baseball, huge in America.
Yes.
Over here in Australia, not as big. We have a sport called cricket, which is quite slow.
Yes.
And that's been some of the comments about baseball. Baseball is one of those games where some people find it's a bit slow, but you've managed to turn it into something exciting.
Yeah, it was the starting point for us. I mean, I thought about this, as a guy, I loved playing baseball, but I coached one year right after college. I was coaching, and I was like, I get bored watching the game, and I know the game. I know what's going to happen, and I'm bored. Yeah. How is anyone else going to pay to watch this? And so when we took over a failing team, we asked the question, what business are we in? But what business are we really in? And we weren't really in the baseball business. We couldn't be in the baseball business. We're a low-level baseball team. We're not professional. How can we win at that? So what could we be the best at? So we asked ourselves the question, and we said, we're going to be an entertainment business. And how do we create the most fun, entertaining game? Because baseball to many is too long, too slow, and too boring. I mean, you've said it yourself. So many people said it. How do we make it a nonstop show? And that's where we started trying crazy things like dancing players and grandma beauty pageants, and you name it, we started trying it.
And you wore, I read in one particular game, the whole team wore kilts.
Oh, yes. We've played in kilts. We're undefeated in kilts. So we've played in kilts. We've given away porta-johns, colon cleansings, flatulence fun nights. We've tried it all. But when you're in the entertainment business, it's very easy to make decisions on what you do. When you're in the baseball business, all you focus on is trying to get better players and having a better team. We focused on the entertainment. And because of the entertainment and the sellout games and the atmosphere in the crowd, the players actually play better. And so we've been fortunate to win the championship and go to the playoffs every year, and we don't focus on the baseball.
I think there's a massive point there for anyone that's in small business who's listening to this, and sometimes they focus on just making the money. I want to make more money, and that's where the focus is. And when they're doing that, it doesn't go very well. But when they focus on the experience of the patient, customer, or client coming into their business, and they make that an enjoyable experience, the money just flows.
We failed when we were trying to make money like everyone else, when we were trying to market like everyone else, when we tried to do things like everyone else. I mean, when we first came to Savannah, the reality is there was professional baseball there for 90 years. And we were trying to sell and market like everyone else and trying to bring in money to make ends meet. And we sold 2 total tickets. Two. That's all that we sold. And it got so bad that literally 6 months into it, we got a phone call at 4:45. My wife, Emily, looks at me and we got a call and it's one of our team members. And we'd overdrafted our account. We were completely out of money. And it was at that point we sold our house. We emptied out our savings account. We got an airbed and moved down here in Savannah trying to make ends meet. And so that's where it was until we completely shifted to the experience, the fans, and going all out and creating this, fans first experience. And now, fortunately, we have a real bed and we don't have to worry about money as much because the fans have really taken care of that for us.
You sound like the Dana White of baseball. Dana
White with UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've followed him a little bit, and I think he thought dramatically differently on what that experience should be, and broke all the rules and said, "Hey, this is what it is, and let's go completely different." And taking inspiration from him, Vince McMahon, P.T. Barnum, Walt Disney, and as you know, it's working with small businesses. We learn more from outside our industry.
Oh, hell yeah!
If you're just talking to people in your industry, you're iterating the same things over and over again. We get our biggest inspiration from the cruise industry, from Disney, from looking at what they did in the circus, because we don't want to be looked upon as a baseball team. We actually say it. We want to be a circus and a baseball game breaks out. Learn from outside. That's how Starbucks started. Literally, Howard Schultz went to Italy, saw the communities that were formed at these little coffee shops, and he said, you know what? We can do this. He got outside of where he was. Those weren't coffee shops. Those were thought of as different kind of places. They weren't the typical coffee experience that he was used to in the United States, and he changed it dramatically.
Yeah, I remember watching an episode of The Sopranos, and
yes,
and I can't remember the one of the guys. Anyway, he's talking to Tony Soprano, and they walked into a coffee shop, and he's standing around looking at, like you're saying, the community that was based around this small little coffee shop. And he said to Tony, what the hell were our forefathers thinking? But why did we get involved in organised crime? He said, look at how many people are in this place and how much money. And it's coffee. We invented coffee.
Yeah.
And he's going, and we missed this whole opportunity of seeing what somebody else saw.
Well, I think it's a deeper conversation there, and not to go on a tangent, but how do you bring people together? Whatever your business is, how do you bring people together where that community is formed and where people can talk about and be able to experience things together? I mean, now more than ever, and obviously as we're recording, it's going the virus and everything.
Yeah.
We have to be apart. And that's scary to me because what that could cause is isolation. We thrive on this tribe mentality of being together. And that's kind of what we're trying to do is build a community. So I think that's a great thing that obviously Howard Schultz learned. And I think a lot of us could think about, what's the community you're forming of fans at your business? Or is it just a transactional, I sell this product, they buy this product, and it's over? Or are you forming something bigger than that? And that's what we've been trying to create.
Yeah, in Cairns, where I live, we have a national basketball team in our town.
Yes.
And they refer to themselves as the Orange Army. But I tell you right now, if I can get the CEO, who I'm friends with, to listen to this episode, I think he'll pick up a few things. Because what they do out at the basketball is good, but it's not great. They could do more when it comes to entertainment and just keeping that whole excitement going.
Well, put yourself in the customer's shoes. And I think, everyone says, oh, you're in the entertainment business. Every business is in the entertainment business.
Yeah.
You know what entertain means? Entertain means to pay attention to provide enjoyment, to provide amusement. Who doesn't want to be paid attention to and have enjoyment and have amusement? So how are you entertaining your customers? And I think the best way that we've learned to do this is we put ourselves in their shoes. Every night we go undercover fan. Someone on our staff actually comes in. We park with the fans. We sit with the fans. We wait in lines with the fans. We talk to the fans. And we get to say, all right, are we bored at all? Yeah. Is there things that we don't like? What are those friction points that we go through? And then solve those. And so solving the friction points. Baseball's too long, too slow, boring. You get nickel and dime to the ballpark. That's why we made every ticket all inclusive. All your burgers, hot dogs, soda, chicken. Like, hey, we don't like extra. Yeah, every ticket's all inclusive.
So I turn up to a game because it's on my bucket list of things to do is to go to a live baseball game and eat a hot dog. Because I grew up watching Chevy Chase at the baseball all the time, eating hot dogs. I thought, I want to do that one day.
Hot dogs are a ballpark experience. So why do people have to pay extra? Give people what their experience should be. We want people to have that. So yes, I think it's 90% or plus of our tickets are all inclusive. The only few are the few single games that we have for the games that sell out later.
So your ticket... You get free hot dogs.
Oh, your ticket includes all your hot dogs all night long, all your burgers, all your chicken sandwiches, all your soda, all your water, all your popcorn, all your chips, all your desserts, all night long. There's no cutoff. There's no. Yeah, because again, as a customer, I'd like that. I don't want to have to keep pulling money out of my pocket, And where we got this, be very open, the cruise industry. You go on a cruise ship, you don't have to worry about your basic food. Now, if you want the premium beer or you want merchandise items, you pay for that. But let people have their entertainment experience all inclusive. That's what we want as a fan. And so that's why we did it. And that's why we continue to ask those questions. If we're a fan, how do you create the best experience and eliminate the friction points?
Yeah, and I've heard some people have not gone to sporting events because they go, it just costs us a fortune when we go.
Yeah, it's painful.
It's very painful.
Yeah. So what are those pain points? So we kept going down that road. So our tickets, one thing that we don't like as a fan is convenience fees. Those are the most inconvenient fee in the world. You have those extra ticket fees and an $18 ticket should be an $18 ticket. A $24 shirt should be a $24 shirt. It shouldn't be $32.50 because of shipping fees.
Yeah.
So this past year we eliminated shipping fees. Now domestically, obviously it's a little different when you go worldwide shipping to you guys, but we eliminated all those fees. So again, if you create an experience where you put yourself in their shoes, they will reward you because they'll become bigger fans. They'll tell more people, and then you'll have more fans that are buying from you. And that's just the mindset that we kind of took.
I think next time I'm going to America, I'll have to order ahead and order a Savannah Banana shirt and get it shipped to where I'm actually going to be staying.
Yeah, love it. And we thought about it, again, it was a disaster. We had no idea what we were doing. When we first had all those shirts, we were shipping. We had no idea. We didn't know what we were doing. But then you start getting better and you iterate on getting better. So now we'll ship our merchandise in a custom yellow box with a big stamp that says delivered fresh with a Bananas logo, yellow tissue paper, a free koozie in there, a free decal, a note from our director of merch with her card. We kept iterating and adding to it. So it's not like everyone else. If you're shipping something to your customers and it's like everyone else, you're like everyone else.
That is brilliant. And when you're talking about those pain points and overcoming those pain points, it's like when you stay at a motel and then you go, because they're advertising, it's $150 a night. Great. I can afford $150 a night. And then there's the resort fee.
Yes.
And then they go, and then there's tax. And then you go to pay with your credit card. At the end they go, we have a 2% credit card fee. And you're like, piss off. You're kidding me, aren't you?
Give it away. At worst, just make it $175.
Yes.
Say, hey, it's all inclusive.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've seen places who do that, and I've gone, I'm just going to stay there because I don't want to have to think about what all the fees are afterwards. I just want to know what I'm paying is what I'm paying.
Yeah. And then you can add those bonuses. I stayed at a hotel, the Magic Castle Hotel, and I've got to know the CEO. He'd be a great guest for your podcast. He's brilliant. It's an old 1950s hotel.
Yeah.
You walk in, you get greeted, they give you, a drink, and then they come up and say, all right, here's our free snack menu, whatever you want. We've got cookies, we got granola bars, you name it. And here's our beverage over here. Any drink you want, sodas, whatever you want, it all inclusive. At 3:00, it's free ice cream. Free ice cream whenever you want it. We also have a DVD menu. I go, DVDs? You still do DVDs? They go, yes, we have DVDs. Whenever you want to watch DVDs, you can watch DVDs. And then they have a popsicle hotline, which literally it's at the pool. It says red popsicle hotline. I went to it, I picked it up, and they answered popsicle hotline. I go, hello? And they go, would you like cherry, orange, or grape? I go, orange. And they come out on a silver platter and deliver a popsicle to me at the pool. Now, I talked to him about this. I was like, you're giving away free ice cream. You're giving away all the free soda. You're giving away all the free snacks. You're giving away the popsicles. He goes, how much do you think it actually costs us?
True.
And he told me it was $4 or $5. But the value, I don't have to pay for drinks. I don't have to pay for ice cream. I don't have to pay for soda. How can you add value? How can you make your customers feel like they're taking advantage of you? How can you put them in, oh my God, I'm taking advantage of this company. That's how we want people to feel at our ballpark. Oh my, I'm eating you out of house and home. I'm getting so much of that. Then the value they feel is so high. So that's something we kind of think about is always, what is that opportunity to customers to say, wow, I'm taking advantage of you guys right now. That's a good feeling for a customer to have.
I tell you, I'm listening to this, and you may not be able to tell it, because I'm sitting here quite calmly. But on the inside, I'm like Ricochet Rabbit at the moment. I don't know if you know who Ricochet Rabbit is.
No.
When you get off here, go and Google Ricochet Rabbit. It's a cartoon, but my brain is going like bing, just shooting all over the place with how this can be applied. That thought process to any industry of making your customers feel like they're taking advantage of you. We stayed in a resort in Bali last year, the year before. It was an all-inclusive resort. all your food, you could go to any restaurant in the resort and you could order more than one meal if you wanted to. All the alcohol was included. Now, we paid a fair amount per day to be there, but they even topped, in our room, we had a bar fridge. And they were saying to us, drink everything in the bar fridge because we'll top it up. We'll come and replace it at least once a day. And what happens is you do that probably for the first 2 or 3 days. And then you start to ease off because your body can only take so much. So then you really start to settle in. So from their point of view, it's probably not costing as much as what you think it is.
Not at all. I mean, again, we've looked at all the numbers. I mean, alcohol, could be $1 to $2 an item. So if someone really gets after you and and drinks the whole time, so what? They spend $30 of alcohol on you? It's very small, but it's something, again, I think so many people they have meetings and say, all right, how can we get more money from our customers? How can we make more money? What are the things that we can find ways to add more money to our bottom line? If you have conversations on how do we create more fans, as I've learned from David Saylors and Chick-fil-A, that's a different conversation. So how do you make more fans is you add all these inclusive to create a great advantage, and then they tell everyone about it, and they want to stay with you as opposed to anyone else. And yes, maybe they would buy 4 more things of alcohol. Maybe it is an extra $30 at first, but are they going to tell everyone about you and want to come back?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The return customer is everything.
So you even have just basic beers included in your ticket price?
And again, giving away free alcohol is a little bit of a challenge with regulations and restrictions. So all of the food, all the soda, all the ballpark basics are included. You want to go have a beer, buy a beer. But what's interesting is we've learned we have the highest per cap in the league. And what I mean is how much people actually spend in our ballpark. And we never anticipated that because they're getting all their food and soda for free. But think about this. If you walk into a ballpark, you bought your ticket months ago, all your food and soda is included. You feel like you're getting such a great value. I'll buy a beer. I'll buy a shirt. You already feel like you got a great deal. How do you make your people feel like they've already got an amazing deal that they feel almost guilty? Like, I got to buy a shirt. I can buy a beer. Like, that's a different kind of mindset that we've learned that's been developed with our fans.
Yeah, they've had a TV commercial on over here recently, and it's a bit of a dig at, not insurance, at superannuation, retirement funds where people are putting their money into. And if you want to switch from one retirement fund to another one, there's these switching fees, exit fees, and everyone kicks up a stink about it. And so they've had these commercials on where people are in this restaurant, they sit down and they call the waitress and they go, "Oh, can I just change instead of fried eggs? Can I change? Can I change from poached to scrambled?" She goes, "Oh, that's not a problem. That'll just be a $5 switching fee."
Unbelievable.
And they went, "Hang on, have you the only just placed the order?" She goes, "Yeah, no, I understand that, but..." So they're sort of explaining, well, you wouldn't do that in a restaurant. You wouldn't take that from a restaurant. So why do you take it from retirement funds?
So many companies, and they don't mean to do it, but they look at how do they extract value from their customers as opposed to how do they give value. And a great example I heard from Southwest Airlines. So when everyone switched and they said, we can make money by charging for bags, $30 a bag. Every single airline did it. And Southwest, the consultants came to them and they said, all right, if you make this change today, $350 million overnight. $350 million overnight. And what they thought, because what they stand for, Southwest Airlines, we stand for giving people freedom to fly. They looked at that and say, will this give more people freedom to fly or not? And they were so clear on what they stand for, they said, we can't do it. And so Herb Kelleher said, all right, how then? You guys find the money. Let's figure it out. But let's go all in. This is who we are. What happened? It was a $1.1 billion change in the amount of revenue that they made because more people flew with them because of everyone else charging for bags. And they saw that increase. $350 million, charge fees, don't charge fees, and see what happens. And there was $1.1 billion difference in the revenue that they brought in. So, it's proven. It's just hard to swallow. It's hard to look at.
I've done that myself when I've been booking an airline ticket. I'll be looking at 2 different airlines. One I have to pay for bags, one I don't. One I have to pay for a meal if I get hungry. The other one I don't.
Yeah.
And I go, I'm going to pay the extra just so I know my bags, my food, everything is covered for. I don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. And Southwest didn't increase prices. See, I think that's really important to think. They actually didn't increase prices. They just said, this is who we are. And more people became bigger fans of Southwest. And I don't know if you heard, but we just eliminated all advertising from our stadium.
I did. I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, which is crazy. It's crazy. We eliminate it because we don't think anybody comes to a ballpark that wants to be advertised to. We don't be able to say, you know what, I want to be marketed to today. Will someone sell me something today? I want to be advertised to today. We eliminated that. But because our decision is what we stand for the fans, a fan, if they're in a meeting, they don't like that decision. So we're throwing away that with the idea of hopefully we'll have more fans, that they'll stand for us. We'll have more opportunities to grow with them because we keep saying, what do we stand for? And what we've learned is a lot of companies, it's so hard to know exactly what you stand for. And do you make decisions based on what you stand for? And that's why all our decisions are, is it fans first? Every decision.
Okay. So do you have a team sponsor?
No, we have zero sponsors.
Zero sponsors. Not even the banana industry.
No, we created an ad-free ballpark. It's a complete ad-free immersion. There's no sponsors.
Wow. I could see some CEOs in certain companies wanting to do this, but having no idea how they could actually apply it.
Yeah, and again, it's not for everyone. I think that's so. Seth Godin says it best in a lot of his marketing books. Hey, this is not for you. We're not saying every other companies have to do it. For us, it's not what's in the best interest of fans. And so we're not going to do it. We're fortunate we sell it every game. And we don't have the responsibility now to try to make sponsors happy. We have our sole responsibility to make our fans happy. And sometimes those were counterintuitive.
Yeah, and it does. I've walked into businesses where you can tell they're penny pinching wherever they can and trying to cut costs, because you walk in and you can just tell by the surroundings that no money goes back into the business. And then you can see a business that's charging the same who puts money back in there. They've got a busy waiting room, yet the other one has a quiet waiting room.
Yes.
Because people 100%. Pick up on when someone's a tight ass as well. Or if they're just trying to drag money out of you.
Yeah. And again, we're just trying to make fans. Our goal is we're trying to make fans of everyone. And we know our people are the most important people to be fans of us, our employees, our team. And so are we doing things that make them proud? Are we showing that we're about money? Our owners are about money, money, money? Or are we about our fans? Are we about a better experience? So what's happened is our merchandise has skyrocketed since we made the decision. We have people reaching out, I'm buying the shirt just because of who you are and what you stand for going ad-free. We're like, what? You're buying a shirt because we went ad-free? Yeah. It's crazy. We're noticing that. And, time will tell. But again, there's a lot of decisions that you made as a podiatrist that we made that people were like, what are they doing? But hey, again, if that's what you are and that's what you stand for, it makes it easy. And every decision for us is it fans first? How do we do things to create more fans? And that's why we keep moving forward with that.
Okay, so were you a fan of yellow before the Bananas name came up?
I was wearing the yellow tux before. A big influence in me. I have a custom poster of P.T. Barnum in my office, and someone just sent me an original P.T. Barnum signed autograph, which I was blown away from 1880s. But I want to say, if I were going to put on a show, I got to be dressed the part. Yeah. And so we teach everyone on our staff that, hey, we're always on stage. Every game is someone's first game, and we're always on stage. And me as the owner, if I want everyone to have fun and really put on the show and the breakdancing first base coach and these performances that we do during a game, I got to look the part. I got to mirror that. So many years ago with our first team, I got a black tuxedo, but it was almost 100 degrees. I almost melted. So I shifted. So I found a bright colored tuxedos.com, bought a yellow tuxedo, started wearing it, stuck. Fans started taking pictures. It became a thing. And then when we named the Bananas, it just worked out very, very well. Let's put it that way.
So when each game's on, are you on the field like the showman?
Yes, I'm a big part of the show here. Again, we try to break down the barriers, and I think that's something we've learned is that the players shouldn't just be on the field. The staff shouldn't just be where the staff is. We should interact as much as possible, have as many human collisions. So I'm in the crowd doing selfies with fans. I'm in the crowd doing sing-offs where we have 2,000 fans in one grandstand versus 2,000 fans in the other grandstand. I'm on the dugouts doing Hey Baby. Our players are going dates with fans. Our players are delivering roses to little girls during the game. We're breaking down those barriers. So I'm a part of the show, but we've hired a new on-field host to help with this so we can do more. But yeah, I think it's important, and I want our staff to see me having fun with the fans, and I want everyone to see it. I think it's important.
Okay, so when you had your original thoughts for the team, where you are now, has that gone far beyond what you expected? Or you're like, nah, this is exactly how I thought it was going to go?
When I was a kid, I dreamed every night thinking about playing professional baseball. I visualized the phone call getting from my favorite team, the Boston Red Sox, calling me to draft me in whatever round it was and getting emotional. Fortunately, that didn't happen. Fortunately, I got hurt because this is what I was meant to do. I love every day putting on a show for the fans and dancing with fans after the games and giving out free s'mores and partying with the pep band. And Never would have imagined that every game would sell out, that the publicity that we've gained from it and everything like that. But for us, it's never felt like a day of work. So I believe in our next vision is, how do we take the show on the road? How do we show the Bananas and our experience to more people? So I hope that we'll have the opportunity to play in Australia and all over the world. I think that would be a lot of fun.
I think it would be, especially the whole entertainment side of things.
Yes.
It's just like you said, baseball is boring. Well, it can be.
Yes.
Yeah, unless
100%.
someone's smacking a ball out of the ballpark and it hits someone in the head, and that's always entertaining. You'll see that on sporting 10 biggest bloopers. Always entertaining. People always get a good laugh out of that, except the person who was hit in the head.
Yeah.
So I love the idea though of turning up at a game, being entertained as in an all-inclusive ticket.
Well, yes, and people need unique experiences. We are so much in the experience economy, and you think about everyone sharing stuff on Instagram and social media.
Yeah.
They're sharing the things they're doing and the places they are. They're not necessarily sharing the product that they bought. So we're constantly thinking, like, is the future of sports sitting in a seat watching? No, it's not. The future of sports is creating your own experience, like a theme park where you can go from different things and see different things and be a part of different things and have different things happening and entertaining you. I mean, right now we're working on Bananas After Dark, literally shows that happen maybe with fire breathers and aerialists and things that happen after the game or while the game's finishing up. Because again, people want those unique experiences. They say, you wouldn't believe what happened when I was at a ball game today. And I think that you wouldn't believe every business has an opportunity to create. What are your you wouldn't believe moments? What are your customers saying? You wouldn't believe when I worked with so-and-so, this is what happened. And I think that's pretty powerful. And that's something we're aspiring to do every day.
Yeah, I think back to some of the things I must have done in my podiatry clinic that I went, yeah, we were on the right track with certain things. Because we'd themed our podiatry clinic with superheroes. So we didn't have consultation room 1, 2, 3, and 4. We had Superman room, Green Lantern. Yeah, the bathroom door didn't just say toilet or bathroom. It had Thor's hammer on there because he was the god of thunder, and the staff room was the Bat Cave, and we had our whole staff room is all done up as Margaritaville, and patients would see all this and they go, this is just amazing. And I used to have my guitar sitting in my consultation room, and whenever I had kids come in, if they played the guitar, they'd always ask. And I'd say, okay, when you come back for your next consultation, bring your guitar with you. I said, I'll block out an extra 10 minutes and said, we'll have a bit of a jam. And they just went, oh, that is so cool. Whenever they left, my wife used to always say, that kid will never, under any circumstances, ever let his parents take him anywhere else other than here. And he always knew, every time he booked in, bring your guitar. I said, and you can teach me what you've learned. Show me something. So it's amazing that you do these things sometimes and you don't realize you're doing things so much different to how other people are doing it. And it's been a big part of why your business was successful.
Yeah. Well, you looked at everything as this is an experience opportunity. And we say some people look at points of sale. Well, look at points of experience. And you looked at like, all right, every room can have its own experience, its own theme. I mean, that's brilliant. And you're giving people the opportunity to do something that they wouldn't normally do. Play the guitar. You turn the mundane, a consultation, into memorable.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's special.
And I think I actually picked it up. I read a Disney book called Be Our Guest.
Yes, from the Disney Institute. Yep. And what you did that so many people, it's so hard to do, that I've had challenges doing as well, is the courage to experiment, the courage to try things. So often we're like, this isn't how it's been done. What are people going to think? Well, what if they like it? You know, they say, what if it doesn't work? Well, what if they like it? And I think you said, I'm going to just try and experience things. And I think we just took our whole staff to Disney last week. And they were blown away, feeling the experience, being a part of it. I go, how do we do this on every touch point? How do we do this when people leave? How do we do it when people come to the ballpark? And I think that's it gives your people a lot of purpose when they feel like they're focusing on how they make people feel, not just about making the next sale. Big difference. Yeah,
we even had a bar fridge in our reception area. Didn't have alcohol in it, just had bottles of water. But it was all like our own logo and everything on the bottle of water. Because we had so many patients, because we're in the tropics and it's hot. So many patients would walk in, and when they walk in, they go, oh, Jesus, it's warm outside. Could we get a glass of water? And we thought, so many people ask, why don't we set up a fridge that has bottled water in there that when you walk in, just grab yourself a bottle of water and sit down?
Yeah.
And
So simple.
And then when you're leaving, grab yourself a bottle of water. We worked out, I think, a bottle of water with our label, our logo on there, used to cost us 70 or 80 cents a bottle.
Yeah. Pennies.
And we'd say to we'd have a lady walk in with 3 kids, and we'd say, "Oh, look, just help yourself with the water." She'd open a bag and put like 10 bottles of water in there. And we're going, it costs us $7. The 3 kids are all coming in today for consultations. She feels like she's just got $20-something worth of water, if not more, and it's cost us next to nothing.
Yeah.
And all the staff drank more water too, which was fantastic.
Yeah. It's you count, don't count cents, don't count all those, but count how many fans you're making. I mean, it's like you made more fans that day.
Oh, definitely.
That's what.
So the other people in your league, how many teams are in your league?
16.
Okay. Any of them learning from you?
Again, it's I think they're all aware of it. They're seeing what we're doing. We're different, and that's okay. I think that we're not for everyone. Their focus is a lot more on baseball in the traditional way it's been done, and that's fine. We get more interest from businesses, businesses from all over that outside the industry. That's where we're doing our workshops where we're teaching the fans first experience. That's where I'm doing my speaking. It's outside of the industry because I think they're applying. What we've learned is the greatest companies learn from outside their industry, and I'm so fortunate that companies are reaching out to us. It's been fun.
I was going to ask that if you put on workshops from the stadium there, where people could come in and they spend a day or two, just like you got the Disney University.
100%.
Is there the Banana University?
Yeah, it's fans first experience workshops. So we actually have people behind the scenes. They come during the summer. They get to see a game. They get to see the experience. They meet with our staff. They get to see how we put our scripts together, and then we teach. They walk away with how to map your experiences, how to create your big delivery moments, how to create those special moments that your fans will do the marketing for you. So that's the big walk away. And the takeaway, we just started doing that last year, and I've had a great response. So it's a lot of fun.
Okay. And your season runs from May through to
mid-August. It's short season. Yeah.
Okay.
End of May to mid-August.
So what do you do off season when the season's not on? Okay, that's when you've got people coming in buying tickets. You've got this big off season. What do you do with the players? What do you do with the stadium? Yeah. Do you do anything else?
Yeah. So the big thing for us is we wish we could just open the gates and hope 100,000 plus people show up. But this is where we say, serve over sell. And so we all have maps on how we serve the current fans that we have. That's the big thing we work on. Content. We have our own podcast. We have videos. We've sent out music videos constantly. I mean, this whole week we're doing Facebook Lives. We're just trying to continue to entertain always. So not necessarily revenue driven, but merchandise is huge for us year round, all the time. And so that's big. And then obviously preparing for the season.
And you mentioned the podcast. What's the podcast name? Just so people know.
Our president runs Bananas for Business, which is our podcast geared towards business. So he's doing that release weekly. And then before the season, we'll be doing season 2 of Bananas Unpeeled, which goes into just more of the craziness of the team. So that's going, and then YouTube and Facebook, we're releasing stuff constantly on that.
Oh, I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. So before we go, I do want to talk about your book, Find Your Yellow Tux.
Yes.
So obviously this book came after you started wearing the yellow tux.
Yes.
So because because I was looking at it, I was looking at the book, and one of the things it was saying is a lot of people, they think they're being different, but they're really still just going very average. They're shooting for the middle. They're not trying to stand out. Is that what you're trying to say in the book? You're trying to get people just
find your yellow tux.
Do things differently.
Basically the concept is share our journey, share the things we've learned, and from Walt Disney and P.T. Barnum and some of the other business mentors that I've had, share that everyone has something that makes them stand out. It's the best version of themselves. What are they doing to amplify it? And share the mindset of whatever's normal, do the exact opposite. Look at all the normal things that are in your life and how do you make them remarkable? And so kind of map that journey, share it, wrote it 2 years ago, and continue to get a great response. So thank you for sharing it. But yeah, it's been very educational because the people that I've heard from all over about how they started putting this to place in their life to be different, to stand out, to actually be their best self. And it turns out that also helps your business dramatically. And that's what's worked out for us.
I think it's fantastic. So before we finish up, have you got one final tip? I usually ask people for a final tip at the end. if somebody is listening to this now, they're about to walk into work, Monday morning, 8:30 in the morning, what's one thing that you think they should do?
The back of our Fans First playbook that we have a playbook that we give to our whole staff, our players. You have to go through it before you can actually put on a uniform.
Yeah.
It says, be patient in what you want for yourself, but be impatient in how much you give to others. And that is a mindset that we've taken. And from the little things of everyone on our staff does one fan a day. And every day we pick out one fan individually. We do a personalized video. We do a thank you letter. That stemmed from back in 2016. I started the thank you experiment. And I said, I'm going to write one thank you letter a day to someone that's made an impact in my life. I thought I was going to do it for 1 year. I'm now into my 5th year doing it. Written thousands of thank you letters. I pick one person and I write the letter. It's changed my life. That gratitude of thinking about the people that have made an impact on my life. If you can go back tomorrow, write one thank you letter to someone that's made an impact in your life, you'll be blown away by the impact that it makes on you.
God, this conversation just gets better and better the longer it goes. It's just you saying that every now and then, just randomly, I'll receive a card in the mail. One of those things that people don't do anymore, because I think people have forgotten how to use a pen. And it'll be a thank you card. I was at a conference 2 years ago in Arizona, and I came back from that, and one of the guys at the conference sent me a thank you card just going, I sat next to you for the 2 days, and I just want to thank you how enjoyable it was and how many laughs we had. It was the first time I'd been to that event, and I'll definitely be coming back because I've heard that you're a regular. And I got that and just went, shit, that makes me feel good. So we have the ability to make people feel what I felt.
It's just, it takes a little bit of time, takes a little bit of planning, but once you do it, it's unbelievably contagious. I can't imagine myself not writing thank you letters anymore. It's the best part of my day, every day.
So Jesse, I want to thank you for coming on It's No Secret with Dr. T. I've learned so much. And like I always say, if anyone's listened to this today and they did not pick something up, they need to give themselves an uppercut, go and have a lie down and come back and listen to it again, because this has been absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. So much fun being with you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed listening to Jesse Cole today, the owner of the Savannah Bananas. And this is what I love about podcasting, what I love about listening to people outside of your industry. And Jesse mentioned this, that if you get all your learning from inside the industry that you're in, you're getting the same thinking as everybody else. So you need to look outside your industry for inspiration. And as Jesse mentioned, he had a baseball team and he took inspiration from cruise ships and applied that back to the customer experience, which I think is amazing. And I think anyone listening to this, regardless what industry you're in, if you've not picked up a couple of tips from this and thought about, okay, how can I make our customers, patients, whatever you want to call them, the experience better, then you've totally missed it. Go back and listen to it again. Recommend grabbing a copy of his book, Find Your Yellow Tux. And also the other book that I mentioned was Be Our Guest, which was one of the Disney books, which I read a while back, which is also fantastic. And don't forget, I also have a book. It's not about being customer focused as much as what Jesse's book and the Disney book, but it is called It's No Secret, There's Money in Small Business. And if you're a podiatrist, you may prefer It's No Secret, There's Money in Podiatry. Both can be ordered from our website if you live in Australia. But if you live overseas, just grab it through Amazon. That is the easiest way. But as I always say, start listening to people outside your industry. Even my podiatry book, I've had people who are real estate agents who read that book and said, wow, I didn't realize if I took some of that information, that would apply to real estate, which is why I wrote the second book, It's No Secret, There's Money in Small Business. So that's it from me this week. Look after yourself, look after your family, and with everything that's going on at the moment with the coronavirus, stay safe. That is the important thing. Okay, I will be back next week with another episode, another guest, which is going to be really awesome. Okay, look after yourself. Talk to you again soon. Bye for now.